What about American military fighter bombers, planes operating out of Thailand, attacking North Vietnamese positions in northeast Laos? Can you comment on that?
I have no comment on that at all. We are the armed reconnaissance, but that has nothing to do with bombing or anything.
Any comment on the reports of an escalated American military commitment, reports of larger bombers, B-52s operating? Could you comment on any of that, sir?
Well, I just might make you comment. We have no commitment in Laos. Our military assistance and materiel is being supplied pursuant to the request of the Royal Lao government and in consonance with the Geneva Agreements of 1962.
But to any question that would request an itemization of American military involvement, what would be the official American reply here, sir?
Oh, certainly be no comment.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador.
During and even after the Vietnam War, the U.S. military, in liaison with the CIA, Special Forces, and undercover covert operations, built up and orchestrated what has become widely known now as the secret war in Laos.
The reason why Laos was important was during that time, there was the Red Scare, right? So basically, fear communism. Communism gonna dominate Southeast Asia. We already have China there, and so you have North Vietnam. Now it's a communist state, and so if the country of Laos falls, then the rest of that region would fall to communism. It would turn red. So it's the domino theory, right? So if one domino falls, the rest of them would fall.
As a result of the Red Scare, U.S. President Eisenhower approved CIA training of anti-communist forces in the mountains of Laos to stop the spread of communism. After the Geneva Conference of 1954, no outside forces were to be in Laos. Thus, the beginning of secret operations that would continue for over 10 years by John F. Kennedy, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Richard Nixon. The fear always being the loss of Laos to communist forces.
So if North Vietnam is going to play this game, we can do the same thing. And instead of using our own troops, right, that we can use the indigenous people. And that's why Colonel Belair was sent over to train the Hmong people to fight as surrogate soldiers of the American armed forces, because they couldn't be there. The military forces can't be there, but they send CIA advisors.
Are clear. Any change in the status of Laos must send tremors throughout the entire area. Today, American jets from Thailand and from carriers in the Gulf of Tonkin continued to fly a heavy schedule of missions against the North Vietnamese and Pathet Lao.
There are no American combat forces in Laos. We have been providing logistical support and some training for the neutralist government in order to avoid Laos falling under communist domination. As far as American manpower in Laos is concerned, there are none there at the present time on a combat basis. We do have aerial reconnaissance. We do have perhaps some other activities. I won't discuss those other activities at this time.
Army Security Agency was a military operation for people listening in on other countries. You know, Americans love to listen in, and in God we trust, although that we monitor, you see. In fact, this pin, I don't know if you can see it, but the pin has an eagle's claw grasping lightning, and that was us listening to, landlines, or also listening to the airwaves. Those days we had secret agreements for several years, even after we left the military. Now, a cover story, if I was ever asked in a Patpong Road bar, for example, what do you do? I would say I was a freelance typewriter repairman, temporarily attached to the T-50th Mess Kit Repair Squadron. We sharpened knives, unbent spoons, and I forgot, shine forks. But it was very revolutionary in design. That's why it was top secret, cryptographic, and we couldn't tell you. Now the problem was, of course, there are no secrets in Asia. So within the first week I was here, I went into a Patpong bar, And we're talking, and I bought the girl a drink, and you have to understand, nobody knew what we did, nobody knew we were here. And I'm talking to this girl, and she said, "So you truck driver or cipher?" And I said, "Excuse me?" And then she made the motions. She said, "You truck driver or cipher?" And she went like that, dit. And I thought, we are going to lose this fucking war.
So, what about Patpong? To understand this fully, we must journey back in time to the 1940s. World War II, actually. The Patpong family had grown. Udam, son of Punpat, had joined the Siri Thai during World War II. This was a resistance group formed to combat Imperial Japan. The U.S. recruited Thai operatives to work within the OSS and trained them in America. OSS eventually transformed into what is now known as the CIA. Training included shooting, hand-to-hand combat, secret ops, special forces. Another OSS member was the legendary Jim Thompson, famous for his Thai silk empire and his mysterious disappearance in the years later. So what is known is that Jim Thompson and Udam Patpong trained with the OSS in 1941 in America. In 1945, both Jim and Udam were parachuted into Sri Lanka pending an invasion of Thailand from Japan. September 1945, Japan surrenders and World War II is over. Jim Thompson and Udam Patpong are flown back to Bangkok and start working on their business empire. Patpong would also soon find home to secret CIA offices and hangouts for Civil Air Transport and Air America. Air America became the lifeline for the U.S. military secret war and vital to keep the missions running. With Air America and CIA, the business of war became apparent, and in short time Patpong became a melting pot for covert operations as well as unique characters.
Jack Shirley and Tony Poe were agency people, and they used to come right here in the Madrid bar on Patpong Road, along with a whole number of others who have passed away.
And my experience with Air America was in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Patpong became our home because we stayed here, went to school here, went to Patpong Road.
Another infamous CIA agent was Tony Poe.
Tony Poe was one of the notorious lone wolves of the CIA. He was an experienced military trainer and a highly decorated Marine. The longer he remained in the jungle, the more brutal his methods became.
What did they tell you? They told me that you had gone totally insane. And that your methods were unsound. Are my methods unsound?
Tony Poe was way over the edge. In a secret war, nobody controls these people. They can do what they want because it's secret.
Tony was a very interesting man. He is the stuff of legends.
Well, Tony Poe was very colorful.
He was a tremendous guy. Every pilot up there loved him, and they all knew if you went down, you wanted Tony Poe to come after you.
He is a warrior. He loved to drink, he loved to carouse.
And he developed a reputation of being his own man, tough talking, hard drinking fighter.
He was just one hell of a guy. I mean, he would go up, he would live with the locals loved him. He'd go out with a patrol and he might be gone 2 or 3 months, especially in the early days when we first got there. He collected ears.
People questioned that whether he was killing as many Pathat Lao as he said. And so he did this thing of cutting off their ears and sending us a bag of their ears.
It's war. War is hell. And if you're going to do it, let's do it with gusto.
The Hmong guerrillas revere Tony Po like a god, for he can make rice and napalm fall from the skies. For years he fights on his own alongside his warrior tribesmen and in accordance to his own rules. He bows his head to no one and is no longer controllable.
This is the end, beautiful friend. This is the end, my only friend. The end of our elaborate plans. The end of everything that stands. The end. No safety or surprise, the end